Are you considering hiring a ghostwriter to help you with a book? Are you ready to write a business how-to, a motivational book, a memoir, book on politics or history? Do you have a great idea for a novel? Having the idea is one thing, but taking it from an idea to a published book can be a long road. So congratulations on doing your research and considering bringing in some professional help. Hi, I'm Jerry Payne, your Confidential Ghostwriter, with some ideas for choosing the right ghostwriter for you. There's no shortage of good ghostwriters out there, and you'll find that their fees are all over the place, from less than $10,000 for a book to over $200,000 for a book. Like most things, price typically equates to quality, but you certainly don't need to spend $200,000. On the other hand, you're probably not going to get a lot for your money at the lower end of the scale. Find someone who's in your financial comfort zone. But let me tell you a few things to look for and ask about when you find a ghostwriter you want to work with. First off, let me warn you about some of the ghostwriting companies that are out there, preying on individuals who don't do their research. I'm seeing a lot of this lately. Companies, nameless, faceless companies that promote their writers as best-selling ghostwriters, yet charge suspiciously low fees. You sign up with them and they assign your book to a member of their staff. A major problem that anyone hiring a ghostwriter has with these companies is that you don't get to choose the staff member or sometimes ever really get to interact with him or her. Do you really think your book is going to be that great without any interaction? Make sure you're working with an individual that you're going to have a direct relationship with. Your book is too important to allow this mistake to happen. With that said, here are some other things you can do that will help you find the best ghostwriter for you. Check out the ghostwriter's website. Anyone that's been in business for a little while should have a pretty informative, comprehensive site that will answer a lot of your questions. Most ghostwriters post their fee on their site or at least give a range. You can visit my website today. The link is below in my description. As well, when you make contact, gauge their responsiveness. Hey, you do this with other professionals, right? Nobody wants to wait 3 days for a plumber to call back. If you make an inquiry for potential services and the ghostwriter doesn't get back to you quickly, how responsive are they going to be after you've signed their contract and paid them a deposit? And you're well within your rights to ask for references and samples. Keep in mind that your ghostwriter, if he or she is legit, has most likely signed confidentiality agreements with their clients, meaning they might need permission to disclose their names and their book titles and content. But every good ghostwriter has a few clients that are more than happy to discuss their experiences or allow you to read their books. If you're talking to references, you want to ask how easy the ghostwriter was to work with. You want to know how flexible the ghostwriter was. At times when life might have gotten a little bit crazy for the client, things happen, and you're going to want to know that your ghostwriter will work around your particular needs. You'll also want to know how willing the ghostwriter was to make revisions. You want the finished product to be just the way you want it. Ask the reference if the ghostwriter took enough time to properly understand just what the person wanted to say. Good communication between the client and the ghostwriter is imperative. Finally, ask the reference if they would hire the ghostwriter again. Samples pretty much speak for themselves. You probably know good writing when you read it, and you probably know bad writing too. Writing is the one thing that can't be faked. Your prospective ghostwriter might come across as competent, professional, sincere, and experienced. But if the writing's not up to snuff, then none of that matters if you want a really good ghostwritten book. Some ghostwriters will rightfully brag about a New York Times bestseller they may have ghostwritten. Full disclosure, like the vast majority of professional ghostwriters, I'm still looking for my first New York Times bestseller. Maybe it'll be yours. The fact is, I've had books published by traditional mainstream publishing houses, but a lot of things have to happen for a book to become a legitimate bestseller. Things that have nothing to do with the ghostwriter or your input, but things that have more to do with the client's level of celebrity or fame, or their connections, or things that have to do with the marketing efforts of the publisher, the strength of their advertising efforts for the book, or maybe just a type of book, or the timing of its release. Bestseller isn't the best metric to use when choosing a ghostwriter. I would put a lot more stock in the quality of their writing. Read their stuff. That's where the rubber really meets the road. Preferably, your ghostwriter should have experience and interest in your particular genre. If you're writing a memoir, hire a ghostwriter who specializes in memoir. Now, as ghostwriters, we can be chameleons of sorts. Most of us are willing to try our hand at anything. But if we're honest, we know that there are some genres we're simply better at than others. I don't write technical papers, for instance, or books that require a lot of research. There are some ghostwriters, on the other hand, that love writing technical content. Find a ghostwriter that matches your type of book for best results. To protect yourself, look closely at their contract, especially the terms of payment. The fees should be split into equal installments. Personally, I consider a large down payment to be something of a red flag. Ideally, the payment should be split monthly over the length of time it will take to write the book. And there should be a provision in the agreement that the writing needs to be done at a pace commensurate with the payments. By the time you've paid half the fee, you should have roughly half the book completed. There should also be a provision in the contract that the ghostwriter will make your requested revisions to the book at no extra charge. Revisions are a natural part of the creative process, and you shouldn't have to pay for them. My clients enjoy unlimited revisions. The book belongs to them, not me, and so they have the final say. Obviously, there should be a confidentiality clause, plus a clause that clearly stipulates that all the rights to the book revert to you. The ghostwriter has no rights to the work he is creating for you, and you do want to make sure this is clear in the contract. Your ghostwriter ought to be able to help you publish your book too. Now, if you're writing, say, your memoirs to give to your kids and grandkids, and you don't care about making your book public, then this won't matter to you. But if you're wanting to get the book out to your audience, it would help if your chosen ghostwriter had some knowledge and experience in this area. They should be able to advise you as to how to proceed if you want to find a traditional publisher, or if you want to self-publish, which most people are doing these days to avoid the time and hassle of dealing with a publishing house. He or she should be able to walk you through the self-publishing process to make sure your book gets designed properly, both the cover and the interior, made available in the global book distribution network, and placed on Amazon and other retail outlets for sale. Finally, don't discount your own instincts and gut feel. Remember, if you choose a ghostwriter, you're going to be working closely with them for several months. You want your ghostwriter to be someone you're comfortable with, someone you can confide in, someone who's sincerely interested in writing the best book possible for you. I hope you found this video helpful in your search to choose a ghostwriter for your project. Visit my website at yourconfidentialghostwriter.com and check out my book, Writing Memoir, The Practical Guide to Writing and Publishing the Story of Your Life. Available on Amazon and wherever books are sold. You can find important links in the description below. Thanks for watching this video on how to find and work with a ghostwriter right now.